And good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Smudcast number 906. Critics don't understand video games. Okay, I guess some of them do and some of them don't. Depends who we're referring to and what critics exactly, whether YouTubers or the gaming journalists. We don't know. But this came out this year, January 2025. And this is from Just One In. I think we might have covered this guy. I don't remember him exactly, but the YouTube sounds familiar. I can't recall. Anyway, it's got almost 800,000 views, which is pretty good for a 76,000 sub channel. It's probably less than when it came out, so we probably got bigger as a result of this one. So good on him. This is going to be almost 29 minutes, and I don't know how fast we'll go through it, but we will see what this gentleman has to say about critics. I really want to know which critics, because if he's going to just say the IGN guys, it's like, well, there's some guys on IGN that aren't crazy, and there's some who really like the Veilguard. And you're like, okay, what happened?
I had a quick look through this video because obviously I found it, and he sort of has a wide range of different people that he covers. So he goes from obviously the IGN people, but also streamers. Because he'll say later on, but yeah, there's quite a wide range of people he covers. So
Interesting.
Hopefully it's all right.
All right, let's get going.
The way he leaps backwards to face the camera before falling. Full of the exaggerated swagger of a black teen.
You need help, Eddie.
If I had $1 for every time I fell in love with a globally hated video game, I'd probably have enough money to buy good video games. It's a recurring theme where massive gaming critique companies get themselves into controversy for ridiculous takes and reviews, and you may have been witness at times to a video game's reception on the internet being overwhelmingly negative, even though you
I cannot follow this guy. He's so quick.
enjoyed it. The truth is, every year dozens of incredible video games get tossed aside by the hands of the privileged who vote yes game or no game just because of a YouTube review. No gamers, as of...
So he's talking about YouTubers, not IGN guy, because they use a scoring system. I don't get it.
He starts off like this, but I think he does go into IGN.
Okay.
Like you say, he's very quick. So I might have missed.
Okay. He's so fast. Like, I can barely even look at what's on the screen, and he swaps it around to some other image. I'm like, dude, just slow down.
Launch day, pretty good.
This is the greatest thing ever.
But unfortunately, it does have some minor issues.
I'm going to LiteratureDevil.
It's common practice before making a purchase to
I'm going to, what to develop? Dodge?
Dogs.
He's gonna, what? Why would, okay.
He's gonna box them.
Weird.
what other people say about the product you want to buy. If you're getting a vacuum cleaner or a television, this is a great habit to keep up. A vacuum's power consumption and performance is entirely objective. Everybody will have the same...
Not necessarily, no. I've literally seen people return vacuum cleaners because they weren't good enough. So, same with fridges, other appliances. Even
my grandma had a vacuum cleaner for 35 years.
Yeah, the old stuff is fantastic.
Terrible, but it kept going.
Yeah, the new stuff, even the Samsungs, the LGs, they do have defects. It's not universal. So
cleaner because you can't interpret anything differently about it. On the other hand, a video game is a whole other ballgame. There are so many factors that make a video game inherently good.
Okay, we went from evaluating a vacuum cleaner to media. There's a big world of difference between the two. I don't know why you even start with that. Okay.
And it makes it so nobody in the world will ever agree on what the best video game ever...
Why would we? Why would we even do that? What? This is the best thing ever. Like, how?
Even on here, we all have like disagreements about what we class as good.
Well, good is the problem. Good is where we know it's good. We just don't know in what capacity and what intensity. So when we talk about what's bad, we all know it's bad. And it's kind of obvious. It's just how much do we hate it? How much do we really find the problems with what is bad? Is there levels to it? Is it just the factor that it's a negative experience? What is the reason? So bad, I have no real major problem with, unless they're trying to say beauty is ugly or some opposite thing. Like a lot of people don't like women in gaming, and they're like,
it
women.
Depends on what you class as bad, because what you class as bad, I might class as good.
Well, this is more of a formal understanding of the thing of, let's say, a science fiction game is focused on the science fiction, not focused on fantasy or some other genre, where they try to mix in, I don't know, drama or romance that doesn't really need to be there, or they focus on the side plot too much, or they just speed along the main plot. There's lots of things that you might say, well, there's so many characters, there's so many side stories, there's so much to do. And I'm like, yeah, but where's the meat? Where's the actual thing we're trying to do? That is what people don't pay attention to. They don't pay attention to the narrative.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
No, that's
Truly.
it.
No matter how qualified they are, no matter how many games they play, you will always be the best judge for whatever you end up purchasing.
You'll be your own personal taste of what is good and bad and why you didn't like something, but that doesn't mean you could have like a, I don't know, a caviar steak dinner and go, this is garbage, it's too salty, the meat is too spicy. It's like, yeah, well, you buy.
I also like the idea that you will always be the best judge. Sir, I was on a 5-day bender. I had so many drugs. I have no idea what I bought.
Yeah, I think we need to have a critical eye first, and then if you have reason and logic and reference, like he said, oh, just because you played 30 years worth of games or whatever, it's like that doesn't make you qualified. That just means you played a lot of games. You have to pay attention. Most people, they'll play that are hardcore, will play the 1 or 2 games that are just, this is the thing. Like, I don't know, a hardcore first-person shooter back in the day was Day of Defeat. That was the thing. Then Quake 3 came out, and then we talked about which was better. So you find people who are very specialized in the thing they like, and they don't play every game because they compare it to that. They say, why is this better? Why is Final Fantasy Tactics getting a remake a big deal? Because that set the standard, and no one has come close to it. They've tried. Even Square Enix has tried. They never had that level of storytelling and gameplay. So it's like, just remake it. And they lost all the code. They had to do it from scratch. I thought was hilarious. And they put voice acting in there. Of course they did. It's fantastic.
So are these big dog game reviewers truly reliable? Well, to come to that conclusion, let's go over some of the most iconic moments in gaming journalism. Kicking it off with IGN's notorious Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire review, Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire take place on an island, and depending on which version of the game you have, the antagonist of the game will use different Pokemon. For the Ruby version, the main villains will be known as Team Magma and will prioritize fire types, while the Sapphire version is Team Aqua, which of course uses water types. The reviewer of the game, whose career is reviewing video games, took points off the game because there was too much water. What the hell? The main issue with the too much water critique was that Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire were remakes of Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. The main gimmick about those games that people loved and wanted to experience again, don't leave me, was that it took place on an island and there was a huge focus on water type and fire type Pokemon. So docking points from a game because it's faithful to the original version rubs some people the wrong way, especially longtime fans of the franchise.
That was it? That was the controversy? He didn't like the water in the water game?
Yeah, I think it is a bit. I get where he's coming from. It's a bit silly to say, "Oh, this game is set on an island and it's specifically, aimed at these sort of things. There's too much water." Well, yeah, that's the idea.
Huh.
Yeah.
I honestly don't remember that controversy, but
that's like going like, "Oh, wow, this football game. There's too much playing football." It's like, what? What's why? What's wrong with that? It's too much grass. Good lord.
I wouldn't say it's much of a controversy. It's more like a meme at this point. It's like, whenever somebody like makes a joke about a bad video game review, they go, "Oh, too much water."
Yeah.
Like in reference to that review. It's more of a. I don't think it was like people were mad about it. It's just more like a what the fuck type of thing.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's a bit like, wow, you critiqued a video game and you had no idea. You didn't understand video games, did you? You didn't understand what you were critiquing here, did you?
Yeah, I don't think we use IGN and GameSpot and all these others as reputable sources anyway. We just look at them to laugh at, and we go, yeah, we're not going to bother with these guys anymore. So that was a long time ago. We looked to those guys for anything. Anyway.
Yeah, I think I was still in my teenage years when I thought IGN was a legitimate
anyway,
criticism. And
Gingaman sent me a donation for $5. I don't know why, but okay. Thank you, Gingaman. You can just message me, but that works too. The best we can do to determine the best game ever is to evaluate all the different games out there that all they can. Okay, I can't read this. All they can to be exemplary of the medium. Okay, and hold those games up to the bar of quality that we expect out of video games in general. Okay, so you're saying this is like the best in genre, and we can say, Super Metroid before its time was one of the best side scrollers in the 90s, and then we compare it to other side scrollers and what they do later on, I think. Because if some game is better than 10 years ago, and we can compare it to so many games nowadays, that the quality really went off a hill, or they just didn't care. They rushed it out the door. Like look at what happened to Vampire Bloodlines. That got rehashed so many times and transferred studios, and it's no longer a Bloodlines game. It's just its own thing. And arguably that is fine. You can do whatever you want, but you should not have expectations from something called the second of something. Yeah. So I don't know how we would do that with the best game ever, because we're talking about cross genre, and I don't think that's fair or proper.
It's like you can't say what's the best film ever.
Yeah, like the best car, like the best automobile. It's like, for you, this would be the cheapest, most efficient, most cost-effective, easy to get repairs, the lowest insurance rates. Like all kinds of things go into make. Like you could argue a Ferrari is way better on all those levels, but you have to pay for it, so it wouldn't be right for everyone.
No.
Anyway.
Another classic. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate added Joker from Persona 5 as DLC content, and along with them came songs from the original soundtrack. The song Wake Up, Get Out There is sung by a Japanese woman who doesn't speak in a traditional American accent, and because of that, some of her words can be misinterpreted. Instead of doing proper research, a writer at Kotaku made a whole article about how she uses the R word in the song, and in her defense, it does kind of sound like it.
Uh-oh.
Ready to pick up the pieces. Let's go. Let's play retarded and say.
But
Yeah, you can kind of hear it.
That's funny. I like that. And this is weird because Kotaku
That's racist.
Yeah, Kotaku would really be open with like other like minorities saying, being in mainstream media or whatever, but because they said another minority bad word, it's evil. It's English. Oh no.
It's one of those where they're going like, oh, they're foreign, but they're just white enough to get away with being angry at it.
She sang the word wrong. It must be evil. Like, oh no.
No, it's not even that. She is saying retort, but it's just the fact that in song retort it even just sounds like retarded anyway.
It's amazing, like how that got through. Like so many people must have checked it over and they all signed off on it. They're like,
well,
yep, that sounds good to me.
I
guess you're like, because they knew what the word was. They're like, yo, that sounds like retort to me.
Well, okay. Ever since Persona 3, they have always had the Japanese musicians or singers, even the rap guys. Well, the rap guys were a bit better, but the women always have problems with the English. And they just kept it in. And they just kept it because why would they make an English or hire an English singer to sound appropriate? It sounds okay. We know what she's trying to say. So no one should be offended. It just sounds funny because that's what English is. That's part of it. That's part of the appeal. And sometimes those songs are really funny and they're also composed very well. So it's like listening to Weird Al Yankovic. You listen to things and there's all these jokes in there and you don't get them the first time. You listen the second time. Oh yeah, that sounds familiar. Anyway.
not the case. One, its placement in the lyrics makes no sense at all. Why would she say R word? I can say it. Like, I mean, I guess you can, but what does that have to do with the rest of the song, Lynn? And second, what she's actually saying is retort it, which means to respond to something in accusation. And that is the entire premise of Persona 5 after all. Taking on the role of a teenage boy standing up to corruption and changing the hearts of the wicked. So again, Instead of doing proper research, a journalist at Kotaku decided to write a whole article on a word she thought she heard, and it backfired horribly.
Yeah, but you can use any kind of additional word like repost, retaliate, respond. Like there's all kinds of other words they could have used.
The way of the song, though, it's got to be quick. So retort is a short word.
Sure, but there's all kinds of counter, return. I don't know.
Like, do retaliate it. Please provide your response.
Please have a categorical imperative in response to.
You're just seeing this longer and longer sentence as like the band in the background carrying on playing. Just like, what the hell?
What is that? Is that a lyric? What are you doing?
The last classic tale of gaming journalism I'll recite is IGN's Alien Isolation review. Alien Isolation is a game where you're trying to navigate a space station while avoiding a serial murdering alien. The following statement is one of the criticisms that the IGN reviewer had for Alien Isolation.
Fright dissolved into frustration as I got killed from behind for the umpteenth time, even as I was crouched motionless and out of sight in an air duct.
And one of the great things about Alien Isolation is that the alien in question that's trying to kill you is actually intelligent and does everything in its power to seek you out. In most video games, the AI is about as intelligent as my left nut.
Oh, that's gotta be her.
Fuck this kid already.
I remember the first game, the demo they showed at E3, how amazing the AI was, or how they were selling it as the AI is really reactive and whatever. And then the game comes out, it's like, no, it's not. It's just stupid. And the second game is like, yeah, not much better.
No.
I got you.
She got another one. Keep searching.
What's with the music? Is this like the normal music? You're just slaughtering people.
No, it's the Skyrim music.
Yeah, it doesn't sound right.
That's weird.
Where the hell are you?
But the developers really poured their heart and soul into the xenomorph in Alien Isolation because it's actually a competent threat to the player. And the reviewer criticized that and declared the game too hard.
The slightest sound, light source, or sight of you will cause the serial murdering lifeform to charge and kill you.
6 out of 10. In all the cases I just mentioned, except for the Super Smash Bros. DLC article, the journalists criticized the games over personal issues with the product. Not bugs, not price, personal preference. No matter how qualified and how huge a company is, a human being is the person doing the review at the end of the day. Imagine a super realistic pirate game comes out. Blackbeard's Pirate Legends comes out for the Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5, and PC. It has historically accurate pirate ship mechanics, the seabed is identical to how it would look at that part of the ocean the game is set, and the story contains a ton of references to real-life events. IGN gets an early copy of the game, and they have to select one of their reviewers who can give it a thought-out review. The thing is, IGN doesn't have anybody that understands Scallywag history at a deep level, but they do have somebody who's seen all the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. So of course, they pick the most qualified person they have to do the review, and he doesn't care for the one-to-one recreation of the ocean floor. He thinks the pirate ship mechanics are stupid and clunky. He doesn't understand any of the historical references that the story talks about. Every core mechanic that the developers put their heart and soul into goes right over his head, and he gives it a 7 out of 10. However, the target audience that the game was made for absolutely loves it, and they praise it to high heaven. But because IGN gave it a 7 out of 10, a lot of gamers missed out on the title that would have loved it. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you will immediately understand a reviewer who is not intelligent enough to understand what the media is. So if you don't know anything about pirates and you cover that, you're like, yeah, I probably wouldn't care. But if you're into pirates, you're probably going to be like, okay, I want a second opinion. I want to know how piratey this pirate game is. And you would go around and realize, yeah, this guy on IGN's a goof. So that happens very quickly. And you could just search for, like, I don't know, pirate game review, and you'll get like the top 10 being the big names. And if there's a wild divergence, then you know something's up. And it really depends on Well, ultimately, it depends on your opinion as well, but it really depends on what language and detail are they going into to evaluate that game.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I do sort of get a little bit what he's coming along saying with that. It's it's almost like you try and get someone who's a big fan of Call of Duty to review a RPG, and they're like, well, I don't like all this stuff, and it's a bit like everyone's like, oh well, it must be no good, and then it really turns out it's like an amazing RPG. You just got a guy or woman who doesn't understand.
right, but the opposite, or sorry, the extreme opposite of this would be when you have the guy who is the pirate buff, who is the lore or historically accurate dude. He's like, okay, well, they're trying to do it right, but it's wrong here, and they'll be very detailed on the design of ships or this or that, and he'll just be so nitpicky and so critical that it's like, oh, this is horrible, this is disgusting. They should just made a generic pirate game and call it that, as opposed to trying to get, I don't know, Assassin's Creed 2 to be as accurate with the architecture as possible. So, yeah, I can see it going both ways. There is the very nitpicky fellow for RPGs. That happens a few times. So,
Oh, I'm just really pointing out the fact that it is one of those things where it does feel like game critics don't really understand most of the genres out there. I mean, obviously nowadays, because they're all political activists, but a couple of years ago, they'd have at least one person who knew a little bit about a genre outside of the first-person shooter. Now it's just, I don't think they know anything about any games whatsoever.
that sounds like the shonen anime problem, where they only watch the popular stuff. They don't have no idea about the rom-coms or the dramas or serious dark isekais or fantasy. They're just like, no, it has to be shonen jump stuff all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Alien on Steam's user reviews has a very positive rating, with 92% of people saying they liked the game and only 8% claiming they didn't, which completely contradicts the rating that IGN gave it in 2014. The only reason it got a rating so low on IGN is because the person who played it wasn't the target audience. A similar thing happened with the
I just think the reviewer didn't know what he was doing. Like he was hiding in plain sight. It's like, oh, they can't see me through these holes in the walls. Like, yes, they can.
I did actually play Alien Isolation when it came out, and it is a very difficult game. But it's one of those where you're a bit like, oh, well, I'll just try again. If you're getting annoyed with it, then it's clearly not the game for you.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, IGN is like still like defending that review as well too. Like, yeah, no, we're sticking by that.
Wow.
We're sticking by the 6 out of 10.
Sounds like the Cuphead review.
Yeah, well, then you think, oh, Alien Isolation got a 6, and then you see the newer stuff like Veilguard getting an 8 or a 9, and you're like,
And those are from
really
fans of RPGs, and they think they'd know better. But nope, it's amazing. I'm playing an RPG. It's a BioWare RPG. It must be good. Oh, I love this RPG called Dragon Age.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
there's no R, there's no P, and there's no G in it. No.
Days Gone, which received a 6 by IGN. Similar to Alien Isolation, Days Gone is rocking a 92% user rating on Steam, with the vast majority of people having a blast with the product. The critic that IGN had for Days Gone's review talked about how the bike was easily damaged by the environment, including when it impacts with zombies.
All that repetition is exacerbated by the fragility of your bike. This thing gets banged up from contact with just about any object, including, sadly, freakers. Why take this joy away from me? While I don't mind the sense of vulnerability, it becomes a drag when you simply want to get from A to B to complete a task without the fuss of uncompromising physics.
Deacon's bike in Days Gone is one of the most important features in the game. Throughout the campaign, you're building up credits and collecting scrap to keep it in shape and upgrade it. If the bike wasn't damageable and never ran out of gas, the progression of Days Gone wouldn't be as significant. When you finally get that upgrade and your bike can drive longer and withstand more damage, it makes you feel like the work you put into developing your character paid off. I mean, seriously, this is game design 101. You can't just fault a game for having progression.
I wouldn't call it game design 101. That's a rather unique idea, to have your vehicle be damageable and then you have to scrounge and repair that, as opposed to like scrounging for food and water like Fallout. So that's a unique thing, I would say. Most survival horror, or even, I guess it's open world or minor open world. So that's cool. And if you don't like the mechanic, I can understand it, but still, that's a great idea.
Also, that reviewer drove into like a wall. It's like, oh, I can't believe the bike damage in this game. It's like, you drove into a wall, you idiot.
Yeah, there's a huge difference between driving a car and driving a motorcycle. And if you don't understand that, you will learn very quickly. So, you have to be very careful with bikes. They're very powerful. And it's just you in the air. Sorry?
The powerful, and also they can be the most fragile thing ever.
Yes, they'll throw you off if you're not paying attention, and helmets are mandatory. Like, there's so many things about a bike you have to be careful of, and they're beautiful machines, but you just have to treat them with the proper respect as you would anything that can kill you. So,
Your horse controls better the more you it, taking care of it. Eventually, after hours of getting to know your horse, it gets easier to ride it. This is good progression, and IGN wouldn't dock points for that, but Days Gone having a progression system with the bike, 6 out of 10. Days Gone isn't Grand Theft Auto 5. It takes itself super seriously. You're scavenging for materials to craft bandages and basic things you'll need for survival. It's a grounded, open-world zombie game with video gamey elements, and the slow-paced nature of it is what makes the pacing so good, and the high-speed action moments so rewarding when they finally happen. The reviewer then followed up the statement by saying,
And what kind of biker drives around super carefully anyway?
Personally, I felt that the weakest moments in AMC's The Walking Dead was when the characters would run over zombies like they were completely weightless, or when the characters would have an infinite amount of ammo in a high-stress scene. The entire show, Rick and everybody else is preaching to the viewer how dangerous it is out there. But when the show throws all of that out the window for a few minutes of fun cinematic action, it's hard for me to immerse myself in the character's dread as much as I did before.
Carl.
I don't think that breaking away from realism is bad. I think it's a great thing. Django Unchained, for example, has a bunch of unrealistic gunfights that are super fun to watch. And it works because Django Unchained doesn't try to be a grounded, tense movie at the same time. It's very hard to accomplish being two things at once. And I think it's good that Days Gone doesn't stray too far off its foundational style. I don't think that this reviewer was incompetent. I don't think they were wrong about anything that they said. I just think that they clearly weren't the target audience. And how could they be? IGN doesn't have an...
That's way too generalizing what happened. They don't like a mechanic. If they give a game a 7, that means they like something in it. They kept going. If they really hated it, they would have given a lower score and would have stopped playing. So they just did not like this main mechanic, which, you know, it is busy work. You have to be careful. You have to scrounge for parts. You have to maintain the thing. There's hardcore mode on New Vegas, for example. You have to drink, you have to eat, you have to sleep. So people don't like that mode for obvious reasons. There's Iron Man mode. There's a bunch of others that, for other games, that if you die once, that's game over. They delete your save. So difficulty levels are a thing. I don't know what it's like in this game, but I don't see how it's a bad RPG mechanic just because it's hard or it's not what you're used to. Traversing the environment is kind of what games are. Like its exploration is like the key element of most gaming anyway, and this puts a spin on that. I think that's good.
I think it's because I think what he's trying to say is the reviewer went into this thinking of a completely different game, and one of the main gameplay aspects is just like, oh, I don't like it because it's like, oh, who drives a bike carefully? It's like, well, in this game, he does. You should be. Yeah,
it reminds me of Fallout 2. Like, you have to have microcells to power your car, and you will run out of microcells, and your car will be stranded, and you have to walk it out. It's going to happen. So I want my car. It's like you can't use your car. There's no fuel. So it's a great reality of like how big the world is and how desolate everything is. There's not enough resources. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Gamers to choose from, and it's evident that the people who Days Gone was meant for loved it. But because IGN, the main source people go to before buying a game, said it was a 6 out of 10, tons of people who would have loved the game, like the 92% of people who bought it on Steam did, missed out on an experience they probably would have enjoyed. I know I did. When I saw Days Gone revealed at E3, I was super excited.
Hey baby, Come here. I'm gonna hug you.
But when it came out on the PlayStation 4, I held off because IGN made a bunch of claims about the game that I believe now to be complete misinformation. I'm happy Days Gone in recent years has begun reaching the audience it should have when it first released, because it's a really fun open world game. Yeah, it has its flaws. I think that Days Gone can be repetitive after a while, and the cutscenes are super stiff, but the combat, bike riding, and storytelling carries the entire experience, so it's easy to overlook that stuff when you absorb yourself in the world. And as a little really well optimized, and $20 if you get it on sale. With a Ryzen 5 3600, 16 gigabytes of RAM, and an RTX 2070, I maintained 60 frames per second the entire game without using upscaling on the Ultra Graphics preset. And all my fellow PC gamers know that that is rare these days. So it's pretty common knowledge that the review format these huge video game journalists used is known to be flawed. But there's another—
No. The format's fine. The scoring could be wrong, but that was just one example of a bad reviewer who didn't like a mechanic. That's it.
Yeah.
I think sorry, bad boy, go on. What do you say?
No. I was going to say, regarding that one segment in Days Gone where you're being attacked by like this huge horde of zombies at I think it was like a sawmill. That's what sold everybody on it. That's what everybody thought the game was going to be. Like these huge, like you're going to have to like, run and gun from like all these huge hordes of zombies. And that particular segment is like at the end of the game. And there's hardly any hordes that you come across. I think that's what turned a lot of people off from that.
Oh, that was the demo. That was the
right, but it is in the game. That segment is in the game, but it's like at the very end. Like you're talking like an 8 or 9 hour game, and that's like at like that's like 8.5 hours in. And it's like it's not very long, and plus you can cheese the whole thing too. I think that's what upsets some people. It's like we want more of this. We wanted more of this particular thing, and you didn't get that until like the very end of the game. But yeah, I do have problems with like Days Gone in my opinion. I played a little bit of it, and yeah, I got my own gripes with that game. It's still a decent game.
For a 9 hour experience, I don't know what that was selling at, but that seems pretty small and tight for a game with those kinds of flaws. So,
I thought it was longer.
It sounds bigger.
I was just generalizing.
Okay.
I was like,
oh yeah. So if it was 9 hours, it's at 8:30. Yeah, I get you now.
Yeah, that's what I was going for. That's not what I. That's not.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
That's fine. I think the issue is like you were saying, Smud. The reviewing system they use is perfectly fine. It's just that the people doing the reviewing are not the greatest.
Yeah, even if you dislike a mechanic, you have to see what the mechanic is good for and why. So you may not like refueling your bike or fixing your bike or getting thrown off your bike, but that's like a skill issue. That's something that, if I was just smart enough and paid attention, I would probably learn how to drive the bike a little better. So
that's like it's like, I'm going to bring up the football thing again. I don't know why. It's like complaining that the AI can score goals against you. It's like, no, that's part of the game mechanic. But I don't like the way it does it. Yeah, I know that, but it's good that the AI can do this.
Right, and that's kind of why we have tutorials to teach the first player to go, okay, this is how the game works, and in order to win, you have to do these things to get ahead or be more efficient or whatever. It's kind of like the group mechanics in multiplayer Mass Effect with the loading of biotics and tech skills that cause an explosion. You don't have to do that. You could have no primers. You could have just everyone's tech or whatever. It will make the game harder, but you can play that way. It's totally fine.
Yeah.
That I think should be discussed.
Sorry?
No, carry on. Yeah.
All right.
Sorry, I was going to say something.
Should be discussed, and most importantly, should not be taken seriously when it comes to their video game critiques. Streamers. Don't listen to streamers. Have you heard of a little indie game called Red Dead Redemption 2? Well, I haven't. It's my favorite game of all time. It's one of those games that doesn't do much wrong. The protagonist is not the traditional brute man that we play as in most open world adventure games, and he has a lot of intellectual depth. But what makes him enticing as a character is that he's so unintentionally humble because he hates himself.
No wonder they all leave you. You sour-faced idiot.
He's convinced he's an idiot. He thinks he's ugly, and it naturally draws us to him because we, the player, see him for who he is. A killer, a thief, but also a loyal artist with a guilty conscience. Bryan Cranston has spoken about manipulating the audience's emotion in film, and it applies to video games as well, where if we see a character on screen holding back tears, the audience is more inclined to cry, but if we see a character on screen crying, we won't be as emotionally affected by it. And it's the same with Arthur. Arthur isn't a good guy, but he's certainly not an idiot, and it's the fact that he doesn't see that makes him beautiful. Moving on to another aspect of Red Dead Redemption 2, the world is huge and cared about by the developers, feeling at times more like a simulation opposed to an environment meant for the player to interact with.
Butchert Matthews.
Oh, no, not me, sir. That's the greenhorn over there. Oh, and there he goes.
So long, long shark. Damn it. Hey.
And supporting everything else is the soundtrack, from acoustic ambience to heartbreaking melodies, summarizing and elevating our feelings throughout the game. Now, I'm not gonna say any names, but a lot of huge Twitch streamers have publicly expressed their distaste for Red Dead Redemption 2. There's a certain Red Dead Redemption 2 review on YouTube, and I'm not gonna say names, but this unnamed streamer's criticism was that Red Dead 2 was immersive to a fault. The primary example he gives is that when—
So it's too big? It's too much? There's the chocolate factory has so many amazing chocolates. I don't have time to try them all. Is that the point?
I think the main thing is, especially with streamers, and I don't know if he brings it up. I didn't get this far apart from I saw like the tags on it. Is I think streamers are just built for like a certain type of game where it's like very quick and fast.
Right. Yeah.
And Red Dead is not a quick and fast game.
I do remember, was it Asmongold? He was playing the beta of Battlefield 6. He was getting his ass handed to him. And I was like, is he good at first-person shooters at all? Is he even a...
I have no idea.
I thought he was a Minecraft guy. Yeah.
That's a whole thing right now going on right now with Battlefield and Call of Duty, is that a lot of Call of Duty streamers are they want Battlefield to be more like Call of Duty.
Oh.
Like fast-paced, kill streaks and all that BS right now. Mm-hmm. They want that in Battlefield, which is what they have in Call of Duty. So they, it's so mind-numbing. It really is.
Can of beans. It takes a super long time to beans. It takes about a second. Sure, other games have it so looting is instant, but I think that works for whatever the game is trying to accomplish. He said it himself in his review. Red Dead insists on its immersion, but that's because it's what the target audience wants, and the audience that Red Dead caters to is the people that want to bask in the little things, which streamers a lot of the time can't do. When you're lost.
Yeah, I agree with that point. I've had days where I've just put Red Dead 2 on, and I spent like 3-4 hours just riding around doing nothing. And it's fantastic.
So the streamer was complaining stealing stuff takes 2-3 seconds. That's
2 seconds.
And that's too long for him. Really?
Yeah, that's too long, yeah.
It's kind of
honestly,
it's kind of irritating me that he's not naming who the streamer is. I think he's referring to himself, but I don't know. Like, he says, "Oh, I don't want to name any names." It's like, I don't know. It kind of looks,
The fact that any game can spend that much time in an open world with full voice acting and then animate a mini game like stealing or whatever the process is impressive. And you're like, oh, it takes too long. It's like, is he a master agility-based thief? Like, he's so quick? No, he's just a well-rounded cowboy of some kind. I don't expect him to be like this snitch, this super amazing thief.
It's not even that. I don't want all my games to be incredibly quick. I like to slow down a little bit. I like to have the ability to go, oh, I don't want to do a main mission today. I just want to, fuck around for a bit. the entire world. I remember one day I woke up in camp, went out, hunted, and lived like a homeless man in the wilds. Came back and I was like, oh, now I'll do a mission, or something,
I've heard lots of stories of people on missions, and they have to do this big thing, and they're hunting some, I don't know, special kind of animal, and they get sidetracked because there's something else happens, and they're like, oh, I'll forget about that animal and go save this woman or whatever the case may be. And I thought that's pretty cool. Like, you have this one focus, then oh no, I gotta go over there and do something, or maybe you don't because you're selfish, and it's like totally fine. You could do that in your game. It's cool.
It's one of those things where I feel like I wish more RPGs were like Red Dead 2. With so much going off in the world.
Oh, it's those games, like even Cyberpunk, Grand Theft, there's so much going on. You miss so much because you're focused on the quests or whatever the main story is. And it's
it's one of those where it's like I want something where I can just ignore the quests. Almost. It's like I'm going through The Witcher 3 because I've got all the DLCs and everything. And I played it like a couple of years ago, rebooted it up. And I'm just like, man, why have I sat on this and not played this? This is fantastic.
Yeah,
I can just do whatever I want.
That's kind of
this is great.
There's so much good in it, and that's kind of the funny thing. I had a criticism of The Witcher 3 was that because the storyline is so focused, and it's really focused on getting Ciri back and finding where she is and chasing after her because she's in danger. And yet you don't have to worry about time. You don't have to worry about a rush. You can go do anything you like. You'll be fine. She'll be fine. So that was one contrary thing to having a fast-paced story, is that you have this realistic, huge world to explore. So
I think I'm currently 84 hours in to my playthrough, and I'm nowhere near the end of the missions. I think I've still got like a third of it to go. I'm just like, oh, okay.
You do notice some issues with the equipment, how you find better swords every 2 hours, and even the epic large quests that have the magical swords at the end, it's like, oh, it's just slightly better than the one I just had two hours ago.
I made some armor like once I reached level 20, and I've just worn it since, and I'm like level 34 now, and I'm just like, oh, okay, I don't need to make anything else. Everything else is like, oh yeah, you got +1. I'm like, yeah, but I look like a fucking clown. So I'll just keep it. Really cool looking armor, actually.
Yeah. Cool. All right.
Pressure to keep the entertainment fresh for your viewers. That's why Twitch is dominated by competitive games, because those are fast-paced and easy to latch onto. But games like The Witcher 3, Red Dead, and I don't know, Astroneer aren't watched as much on the website because they're slower paced and designed to be enjoyed and not just completed. This shit. That's why when you do see somebody live streaming Red Dead Redemption 2, they're probably doing as little side stuff as possible, and at all times they'll have their horse going full speed. Some drinks are just meant to be sipped. A liter of Mountain Dew is a whole lot different than a cup of Earl Grey, and it's the same thing with video games. If you're somebody that strictly focuses on getting to that next objective, Red Dead Redemption 2 is not going to be a good experience for you. You're going to get annoyed by the—
Look how his hat is still on his head. That's incredible. That is one sticky
it's a damn fine hat.
It's like magnetically attached to his head.
Scenes. You're going to spite the game for making you question your morals, clean your weapons, skin everything you hunt, and pick each individual flower. To the person who rushes, this is bad game design. But in actuality, it's just that the person doesn't understand the art of slowing down the pace so that the player can embrace each moment. One of the reviewer's big complaints was that in every mission there's a horse ride to the objective, and the characters have a conversation every single time instead of immediately getting to the meat of the mission.
Yeah, that's pretty standard. Talking, walking has been known for decades in these sorts of games.
Also, you're in a cowboy game. There's going to be riding horses.
Yeah, that's kind of the main avenue of everything. The world's very big. We made it that way. You need a horse, and you're going to talk on the main story. It's like, yeah.
Have you ever known, like, in some of those clips, it's like Arthur and his really good friend Charles riding. Yes, I'm going to be quiet all the way there. Let's not talk about anything at all. It's like, no, they're going to talk.
Plus, they're doing dangerous things. They're going to like, what's the plan? We got to do what now? Figure our stuff out. Yeah.
Where are we going? What are we doing?
Who's going to die?
Well, we're going here. Yeah.
Yeah. There's
complete silence.
It's kind of like
as I'm on my motorbike.
It's kind of like with GTA 5, or was it 6 or 5? I can't remember when it was basically heists all the time. Heist was the focus. Yeah, so with Red Dead, it's the same idea. You're doing little illegal things, and they're kind of like heists. That this person goes here, you go that, you speak, you shut up, whatever. So that's kind of the setup for most of these plots, and that makes sense because you're going to be doing a thing, and they're talking about doing the thing and planning it out, and it doesn't always work out that way. And comparing that to, I think, God of War Ragnarok, where there's walking and talking scenes, but it's like, oh, lore, okay, cool.
Yeah.
For 10 minutes. And that's all you're doing is walking and collecting things. And it's like, okay, that is gameplay, but is that fun? Is it entertaining? Not the best.
Character development. In the mission, Further Questions of Female Suffrage, Sadie accompanies Arthur to Rhodes. On the way into town, we get a glimpse into Sadie's rebellious nature. She reads Pearson's letter out loud, and upon arrival, almost robs the general store before Arthur stops her and bluntly tells her the gang's code.
So, what's the plan? I shoot the shopkeeper while you...
No! You insane?
One thing about this scene, and every single Sadie lover will hate me, but by God, it makes her out to be insane. Imagine being told by a career criminal, "Are you insane? Don't do that."
Yeah, and that kind of
let's
comes
put this
out
in
of
context
nowhere,
as well.
really, too.
Yeah, no, let's put this in context. In chapter 2, after she's been found and her husband's been killed, she's crying and is like meek and weak. Then she goes on this mission, and the first thing she wants to do is shoot somebody.
Yeah,
a random innocent.
Great.
It's like it comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, I know. It completely comes out of nowhere. He goes, "Oh, we're so sorry that your husband died." She's like, "Yeah, I don't know what to do without him." Arthur's like, "Oh, just come along with me." Anyway, I'm going to kill this person. What? Where did this come from?
Outlaws, not idiots. We rob fools that rob other people. These people, they're just trying to get by.
The gamer who wants to get to the next objective will see this and think it's just stupid blabbering distracting us from the combat. But the person who truly enjoys Red Dead will appreciate the significance of this small conversation. We now understand Sadie at a deeper level and where she stands morally, and we also get a glimpse into the gang's motives because Arthur indirectly explained it to us. I cannot tell you a conversation in Red Dead Redemption 2 that doesn't have some kind of subtlety that develops the characters. The reviewer also said straight up that Red Dead Redemption 2 is the same game as Red Dead Redemption 1, which is such a dismissive, blunt take on the game. Sure, it's a third-person action-adventure game, but that doesn't mean Halo 1 is the exact same as Halo 2 because they're both first-person shooters, or Skyrim is the same as Oblivion because it uses the same Bethesda formula. Red Dead 2 is a lot more depth in its random encounters, making it so that they don't focus exclusively on combat 90% of the time to stay interesting. The meaning of the narrative is completely different than Red Dead 1, and the shooting is dramatically different, making it so Arthur can only carry so many firearms at once, forcing him to swap guns if he wants to change weapons, and a lot of other improvements, of course.
The easiest way to say the difference is one's a spaghetti western, and the other is a western drama.
I would say the second game is much bigger than the first.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the whole thing. Yeah, there's 8 years between them.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Red Dead 1 is a spaghetti western. It's just the man with no name, almost, with everything. Whereas Red Dead 2 is the Unforgiven of the genre. So
yeah, cool.
Yeah, two completely different things. Yeah.
All the critiques that this person had of Red Dead Redemption 2, we can conclude that they not only don't understand the appeal, but also rush through the game as fast as possible to push a review out. Now you guys may be thinking, Justin, how do you know that this person rushed through the game? You're not them! Because their review was uploaded 5 days after launch. And that's why I think Moist Critical's take on Red Dead Redemption 2 is flawed. The thing about streamers and video games is that there's only a limited amount of games they can play, because if they stick with a game like Red Dead Redemption 2 and actually sit back to enjoy it, the people watching will leave and do something more stimulating. That's why whenever you see streamers give criticism on a game, it's almost always how to make it more streamable, and not, you know, slow-paced and boring. Flashback to when Dr. Disrespect said the only way Halo could succeed is if it added Battle Royale.
We need Spartan 117, Master Chief.
No, you need a Battle Royale. That's what you need. In order for this game to go longer than 3 weeks after launch, from a spectating standpoint, it needs a BR.
Yeah, too bad he's attracted to minors. Twitch streams are for CSGO, Valorant, Overwatch, Rainbow Six Siege, and Fortnite. Competitive, fast-paced multiplayer games that allow the streamer to create the tension and the climax based on how they play each round. Story games are different because everything from the environment to the dialogue to the body language on the characters tells a story that's best if given the proper attention. My super hot gamer girlfriend and I were watching TikTok the other day, and a significant emotional moment from The Last of Us came up on our feed. At the most gut-wrenching, impactful moment of dialogue, the person streaming interrupted with, "Thank you, Mega Gamer, for the sub," and after the streamer said that, I couldn't help but notice the Wii shop menu music playing in the background as well, which would be fine for a game that doesn't have a narrative that you're supposed to pay attention to enjoy, but for a slow story game like Red Dead Redemption 2 or something, I feel like all the added-on stimulation, like the thanks for the sub and the donation notification and the chat on screen and the background music, kind of takes away from the experience, since a lot of the viewers would be seeing that game for the very first and last time probably. Special shout out to all the awesome YouTube Let's Players that stay silent during cutscenes and provide commentary during gameplay. The Rad Brad, everybody. Now you guys may be thinking, Justin, you are an opinionated dickhead. Why can't you just let people enjoy things the way that they want to? And my response to that is, I am right, you are wrong. I am a video game connoisseur that knows what I'm talking about, and if you disagree with my opinion, get out! Get the f*** out! But all jokes aside, let's say you're watching a story game for the very first time. Which of the two following examples grips you more?
Everyone I have cared for has either died or left me. Everyone except for you. So don't tell me that I would be safer with someone else, because the truth is I would just be more scared.
You're right. You're not my daughter. And I sure as hell ain't your dad.
Damn, this is kind of emotional though. Oh, you heard that, chat. That was the $100 donation to get the sounding rod in. All right, let's just get this over with. Ooh! God damn! All right. Ooh. Holy shit. All right, $200, I'll put that in my butt. Something that I really like about the Game Ranks Before You Buy series is that in each video, they go over the main game mechanics from a non-biased perspective. They tell it as it is, but they don't talk about certain features as if they're objectively the worst thing ever, which lets the person watching decide for themselves if they want the game or not. If there's a YouTuber you really like and they say, well, some people might like the slow-paced nature, but some won't, a lot more people will be willing to give the thing in question a try, opposed to if the YouTuber had said, well, its slow-paced nature is boring. No question about it. I have a confession. I don't like Baldur's...
So judgment calls are bad? You can't make judgment calls? You have to have open-ended calls? You might like it because it's slow and other people might not. And it's like, well then...
This guy's all over the place.
Yeah, it's just...
Yeah. I'm trying to say that you've got to be, as a critic, you've got to be almost like a blank slate and just be informative, not opinionated.
Yeah, and regards, like he says, oh, the Rad Brad's like a great, gamer who doesn't talk during cutscenes. Okay, the difference between, because I followed Rad Brad a while ago, the difference between him and like Twitch streamers is Twitch streamers are like in the moment, that's live and all that. He Rad Brad pre-records that. He only uploads to YouTube, as far as I'm aware. I don't know what he does lately, but he only uploads
I
to YouTube.
used to follow him.
Right,
we're going 15 years back.
So he's not talking to a chat at the moment, like in when he's playing the game. So that's a really bad comparison. You know.
Yeah, I remember those.
Go ahead, Hawk.
Sorry. It's the sorry. Hang on. It's the YouTube walkthroughs that used to be everywhere from 2008 to 2014 before streaming happened. And like you say, they used to just record themselves going through the game, and then they'd upload it. So they'd cut out all the deaths and stuff. Yeah. So yeah, it's completely different actually. Yeah, when you think about it.
Yeah, it's not a really great comparison, and the sad thing is most people tend to follow people who are loud, obnoxious, they don't know how to play the game, they really they talk over instructions, and then they're like, okay, how do I walk forward in this game, and then they don't bother to look at the controls or whatever, and then you have other people on YouTube, then you have other people who have a smaller subscriber count who know how to play the game. They follow instructions. They don't talk during cutscenes. This and that and whatever. And it's like, wow. It's like, watching people follow somebody who's just a complete moron. It's like, yeah, that's fun at first, but then after a while, it's just like, okay, I just want to see somebody play the game rather than somebody act all zany and goofy for 4 hours.
To have a middle of the road opinion, that means you would hold it in your own sensibilities first and say, okay, this is good because I like it, because I'm good at it, and it's fast for my level of skill. Whereas if you're not, then you wouldn't like it because you're bad at the game. So it's like, okay, the difficulty allows you to excel if you're a hardcore player or whatever. So there would have to be a reason to have these sort of middle of the road, maybe if statements. But for the most part, no, I think reviewers should give us a definitive opinion of why they like something. And we got that from the critic I generally like. He does the 100% completions of most games, and he loved or he enjoyed Veilguard. And I was like, okay, what am I missing here? Because it's as if his critical thinking just went out the door. And
did it end up being political?
No. This was a guy, Mortisor Gaming or Mortis something. I can't remember.
No, what I meant was, did his critical eye get blinded by almost like a need to be politically correct in the environment?
Well, I wouldn't say that's what he does. No, I don't think he had any.
Usually he's perfectly fine. It's all critical. He does it critically, he does everything 100%. But in certain cases, it's a bit like, I can tell how the online people will take this.
I don't know.
I've seen that a lot. A lot of times where people will be so critical, and you think, oh my god, these are amazing, and then a certain game will hit, and they're like, oh no, my political biases are going to start coming out, or I'm going to try and not rock the boat too much. Then you see stuff where they go oh yeah, I know this, The Witcher 3 takes too long with all this sort of stuff, but I love it like Veilguard, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, I don't know, because this was a guy I looked to for Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous, which is a very big, detailed RPG, very hardcore, and to play that 100% is that takes, I don't know, 100, 200 hours. It's a huge game. And he went through it. There's all the various subclasses. You can do all kinds of dips into subclasses, into one level here, one level there. So he was going through all that. I was like, this is wild. He really went into detail. And maybe because the game was so focused on gameplay, he could go into detail and spend the effort. But as soon as you look at narrative and storytelling, and I don't know what he was paying attention to not latch on to maybe the characters are sounding a bit irrational and illogical and crazy, and the plots are just not adding up and not making any sense. And the storyline's fun. He was saying it was basically a fantasy generic, whatever storyline, the world crap. You're like, okay, it's normal. Did you notice the dialogue being absolutely atrocious? The plots not making much sense, and the scenarios, the scaffolding on a giant statue is holding it, anything wrapped hit your brain. No, it's a cutscene. You liked it. It was, or you didn't. Like that was it. So stuff like that. I wanted detail. I wanted like the guy with the eyeball that's critical of gameplay would be critical of everything, but apparently not.
Yeah, I mean it's funny. I recently it popped up on my YouTube. Your Mass Effect 3 Bookends of Destruction popped up again. I went, yeah, sure, fine, whatever. I've got a couple of hours spare, and I realised how in depth you went with it. When I look at other people's in-depth reviews, I'm like, Jesus Christ, these people don't even play the game.
I look back at those and I say, I was critical on everything because when you get to the ending, you have to be critical, and something has to lead up to that. And every time you think about Mass Effect 3, the ending pops up in your mind. And when you watch it again after all these years, and you're just being, you're not expecting anything, you're just listening. Every single thing, the ending set, like all the language from the Star Child is absolutely insane. Like you just cannot believe it. You would think a super genius, ancient mastermind would have amazing things, like just very intelligent, rational, obvious things. Nope, it's like this is what we're going to do. You're like, why? Because we've always done it that way, and this is what's always going to happen. It's inevitable. You're like, no, we just proved it's not. All the things you've said are false. We've proven it to you. Oh, it's only temporary. It's like, you don't know that. Has this happened to you before? You can't even fathom why am I even standing here if I'm so insane? Like all these questions just start popping up. And that's when you know the narrative is horrible. I remember I messaged Drew Karpyshyn on when he made a new website, and he says there were 4 writers out of 7 on Mass Effect 2 that were from Mass Effect 1. So 4 out of 7 is pretty good. The problem is he was a co-lead with Mac Walters, so he didn't write all of Mass Effect 2. It was Mac Walters, and he was helping him out. So you're like, okay. This is where we see the downfall of the main plot. Because when you're doing a trilogy, everything has to work. The whole plot has to connect. And 2 was just, I don't know, out the door.
Doesn't exist.
Didn't even need to exist. Yeah, there's no point to it. So when you have no foundation for a trilogy, or no second step in a trilogy, then you know something's bad's going to happen. I just wasn't expecting it to be that bad.
What I go on with, like my point earlier is like sometimes I see it, especially with a lot of reviewers, is with games that they won't rock the boat, they'll put their full critic's hat on and they'll go straight into it and they'll see what they're thinking. If there's a game that they think will rock the boat, especially with a certain demographic of people, you notice they tippy-toe around stuff and you think, oh, hang on, you're usually a bit more biting in your critique.
Yeah. It depends though, because like doing a game like Red Dead 2, it's so big. The same with The Witcher 3. You can only really focus on the narrative because there's so much, like take every mini game, take every side quest, there's so much to cover.
Yeah. And I can understand stuff like that, but say with stuff like Veilguard, there's not a lot. Like with Dragon Age games, there's not a lot to get distracted with. I mean, like Inquisition was an open world with nothing in it, so you couldn't really be distracted with that. You could just say, well, there's nothing there.
Yeah, exactly.
You can pick a few resources up, but there's nothing really to get your teeth into. And Veilguard came along and got rid of the open world. It's like, all right, so there's less to talk about. Oh, it's just like a straight line. Okay, let's talk about it. And everyone's like, well, I can't say much about this thing. You can. This is literally like 90% of the game. Come on, hurry up, say something. And it's like, oh no, we're going to be quiet about it.
Yeah,
it's like, I mean, you're more worried about
if I were to look at Veilguard and do a review, it would be, I don't know if it'd be worth it because honestly, I don't want to check it out. It doesn't interest me. And we see how Inquisition was, and that was pretty bad. But people loved it. People thought it was great. People bought it. I don't know if they felt it was good, but they enjoyed it enough to buy Veilguard or to at least check out Veilguard. So this is kind of like Mass Effect 2 again. Inquisition was Well, I would say 2 is its own little thing. Like Dragon Age 2 is its own little, microcosm. And then Inquisition came about. Inquisition is kind of like the Mass Effect 2. It's its own side story, but it's big enough to be considered a main Dragon Age title. And it just, I don't know what it was trying to do. But it's like 70% there, and then the rest they ruined. I don't know how to describe it. The storyline was so bad, the characters were so bad, the gameplay got watered down, and
it's very lucky that they released it before The Witcher came out.
Huh? Really?
Yeah, they was meant to come out at the same time as The Witcher.
Oh,
and
Jesus.
They went to release it earlier.
Wasn't it Game of the Year? Wasn't Inquisition Game of the Year? Yeah.
Yeah, then Witcher came out the next year and won Game of the Year.
Well, the argument was, you have The Witcher and you have Dragon Age, and The Witcher is, story focused in individual characters, main plot, and Dragon Age is group stories with friends and going on a journey. And I'm thinking, that's the dynamic socially, but not really. They're both roughly the same style of game. You're going on a journey. It's just one is told competently with fun side quests, and the other, the third game. The second game, The Witcher 2, was actually pretty good. So The Witcher 2 was fantastic for what it compared to the first game. The first game was buggy mess and just sort of, I don't know what the goal was there. But the second really brought it out. It's like, oh, this is what the studio can do. Fantastic. And
then the third came, and you're like, well, that's just cherry on the top, isn't it?
Everything they did with the second game, only more. Bigger stories, bigger worlds, more to do, more interesting characters, better tech, better music, better I think they got rid of most of the sexual content. They still had sexual content.
No.
Well, no.
No, there's a lot. Really cringy.
Oh no, I do know there's sexual content, but compared to the first game with the cards and the collecting, and it was like, this is kind of getting creepy, Gerald.
Oh, no, I think in my current playthrough, I think I've accidentally slept with 5 different characters.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm just sat there, just like, oh my god, this is so weird.
I had no intention to do this.
No,
I don't know if I call that an accident. One or two is an accident. 5, you're doing that shit on purpose.
No, one of them was, it's this woman. A woman goes, "Oh, can you beat me in a fight?" I'm like, "Yeah, okay." She goes, "Do you want your reward?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." She goes, "Do you want your reward now or later?" I'm like, "Oh, what's later?" And next thing it cuts to like me back at her house having sex with her. I'm like, "Okay, sure." And there's obviously like, Yennefer and Triss, and then there's another character who you meet up, and she goes, "Fancy having a shag?" And I'm like, "Okay, I'm here. I'm not busy."
Oh yeah, totally an accident, Hawk.
Yeah,
totally an accident.
Worst part is my entire family walked in. The incredibly cringy sex scenes. I'm like, this is a game. It's a story. I promise.
Oh dear.
But no, that was actually a true thing of like they brought Inquisition out earlier so it wouldn't have to compete with Witcher 3 because they knew it'd get beaten.
Really?
So, yeah.
Anyway.
I really should have seen that one coming. Baldur's Gate 3 was Game of the Year 2023, and it is one of the best games ever made. It was made by a passionate team of D&D-loving developers over the course of 6 years. The player freedom that the RPG offers is one of a kind, and no matter how many different choices you make along the journey, the game stays fresh, and you can tell that it was made by gamers for gamers. It won numerous 10 out of 10 ratings with an overwhelmingly positive reception on Steam.
Nice.
And I didn't like it. I couldn't really tell you why, but I would recommend it to anybody looking to try it out. It's a great game. I don't have to like it to see that. And I wish that streamers, reviewers, and people in general could normalize the idea that just because something isn't for you doesn't mean that it's bad.
Yeah, but you're doing your own subjective thing of, like, he's saying, okay, look, I don't like turn-based combat. I don't like the story. I don't like whatever. It doesn't matter. But then he's saying you could like it too, or you could like it because of the quality value or the production or the effort was put into it. I haven't played it. Everyone's telling me, you got to play it. You got to check it out. I was like, yeah, I know. but I played the original Baldur's Gates, and that's what I think of. So Larian is a great studio. I don't think they would have made the Baldur's Gate I wanted to play, though, unfortunately. So I'm sure it's great. I'm sure the characters are fun. I'm sure the choices are great. The freedom is better than any other game out there. And I bet I would have a good time. But for whatever old man brain I've got, it's just like, no, it's probably not for me. So
I'm tempted to get it, but I've just never got around to it. And I don't have as much spare, cash.
Yeah.
Get something that I might not.
Yeah, it's the same with Nier Automata for me. I finally got it and played it this year. I haven't tried Cyberpunk yet. I'll eventually. I like it. I just haven't got around to it. But even with Nier Automata, as beautiful as it is and brilliant in certain cases, it's one of those fails at the ending where everything was working. I don't even know how many endings I have, but it just falls flat. It just goes boom. You're like, oh my god, this just had to end, or something had to happen, because it just goes nowhere. I don't know what the point of the story was, honestly, but it built up to it, so they got it accomplished, and then plus they had a sequel apparently, which is a prequel, so it came out later, but it tells a story of before the events of Nier Automata, called Nier Replicant. I haven't even bothered to check that out. So yeah, no, certain games, I mean, they appeal to you, but you just like, something is off. Like, I don't know what to call it. I think it's Japanese weirdness or quirkiness for that case. But Baldur's Gate 3 is its own beast, its own creature. You don't know exactly what it is.
It's like, I recently tried that High on Life by people who did Rick and Morty.
Huh.
Because it came free on Game Pass. I thought, oh yeah, sod it. It's not going to cost me anything. Started playing it, went, oh, this is quite good. And then after a bit, I was like, thank God it was free, because I'm not interested in doing this anymore. So, yeah, it takes a lot for me to actually get something. I don't have as much free time as well. That's another thing.
Yeah.
Which is annoying, because even when you finish work, I've got kids, so
yeah.
You've got to wait for them, and then the missus goes, well, we need some time together. You're like, oh, okay. And then you waited until, come on, go to sleep. Like, have at least an hour. Or I'm not bothered.
Then you have to save your game if you ever do actually start it up, and you have to go to a save point.
Oh, yeah. It's like, well, starting a brand new game, so you're going through all the tutorials, and if it's like an RPG, creating your character, getting everything set up, downloading the game, get everything, sorted, and then by the time you start, you're like, oh, excellent, I've got 5 minutes to play now. You don't reach a save point for another 10, 15 minutes, you're like, oh my god. But I think his point, I'm going to go back to the video, a good critic should be able to say, listen, I might not enjoy it, but these gameplay mechanics would be good for someone who likes it. If you know where I'm coming from.
Yeah, I know. It seems as if you would know that beforehand just by looking at the game. Like
someone could say, listen, I don't enjoy, obviously, dialogue choices and stuff, but these dialogue choices would be good for people because it gives them some actual choices. There are differences, blah blah blah, basics like that. That's like being a good critic. If you go like, I don't like dialogue choices, I can't believe there's so many, they're rubbish. Well, that's not being a good critic.
Right.
So,
all right.
And the of one big name on the internet saying something is bad is actually pretty strong, because social media is the ultimate echo chamber. In 2020, if you openly stated that you enjoyed the Cyberpunk story despite the bugs, you'd get bombarded with, no! Cyberpunk's bad! Cyberpunk's story is ass! The narrative that Cyberpunk provided was subpar compared to that of The Witcher 3. The goal that CD Projekt... No matter what you said, the chances are not that many people would agree with you, because the internet rule at the time was Cyberpunk was bad. Then all of a sudden, the anime came out, and Cyberpunk's public reception completely 180'd. I always loved Cyberpunk 2077.
See, I never actually watched the anime. People tell me to, and I still did not motivate me to.
I've seen clips of it.
I know people say it's amazing, and I'm like, I watch anime all the time. I'm not too concerned.
The thing with Cyberpunk is when it came out, it was an incredibly buggy mess that wasn't worth buying or playing.
Oh yes.
And then they had to, like, CD Red had to pretty much bend over backwards and put all their effort into fixing the bugs. To get to a point where people are going, oh, it's really good.
Yep.
So,
the anime did help. It did help.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
I would say, I heard people say good things, but it's one of those things where, no, people who didn't like it had a legitimate criticism. Just because the game company went out of the way to fix everything doesn't change the fact that when it was released, it was broken.
Yeah. I remember the mod someone made, I think within a week or a month. It was a third-person mod, and it didn't quite work properly, but that's what people wanted. They wanted a third-person view of playing the game, because basically it's a GTA game, and it was weird to play.
You can create a character, but you don't see. It's like,
that seems a bit awkward. Yeah.
It's incredible, and I really sympathize with your character. Would anybody like to roleplay on the Discord? I'd say the equivalent of the Cyberpunk 2077 situation applies perfectly to The Last of Us Part 2 as well. The Last of Us Part 2 was an extremely experimental sequel to the critically acclaimed first game.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Here we go.
Oh no. Oh no. He was doing okay.
Look how long the section is too.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh no.
4 minutes and a half. Here we go.
First game, it challenged us. It did a character that we grew to love so dirty by killing him off, but did it in a way that mirrored his actions in the first game. It showed us the cruel world of The Last of Us in an unromanticized...
No.
Did it really?
No, don't do this, man. Don't do this.
This was retconning. This was retconning at its worst. It's like, oh, you really like this character? Well, now we want you to really hate him.
Yeah, not only did you kill a not black man, you killed the guy who could have saved the world. Ooh.
Oh no. Oh no, you were doing such an average job. Why would you ruin it? Why would you ruin it like this?
This is the peak of "we were so close to greatness" meme.
No, we were so close to being mediocre. We were taken from us.
That's true.
Not
that is
true. You were a 7 out of 10, and now you've just nosedived.
You were this close to being mid.
Yeah. You were so close to coming, like, scraping the top 10. Just
is sad. It's painful. And that's exactly what the writers intended. Ellie's journey of trying to take revenge on Abby for killing Joel ruins her. And hate takes such a strong grip on her life that she loses everybody she loves just to accomplish what she felt was right for Joel. Her frustration with him before his passing was justified. But because he was...
Right, we're going to go through this argument, but I made the point ages ago that the entire game is built on revenge bad, and then lets the person who searched for revenge first get everything they wanted.
Pretty much, yeah.
Abby goes for revenge and becomes the hero.
And she's fine with it. Everything about Abby's totally fine.
That's one because, but she lost all her friends.
Horrible people, too.
You know, but it's not even that. It's the fact that, she lost all her friends. Let's look at how the plot develops. All her friends hate her, and she is glad they're all dead.
Yeah, all of her friends except for one of them was telling her not to do this.
Mm-hmm. Then by the time she finds out that everyone's dead, everyone had hated her, would pretty much turn on her, and she didn't have any friends left anyway, and she'd made new friends. So she gets everything she wanted, so the revenge bad plot fails miserably.
Oh yeah, and all the friends that hated her and told her not to do this, not to kill Joel, they all defended her until like their very last breath.
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
And then she moved on and forgot that they ever existed.
Yep.
Wow.
And then Ellie decides revenge is not good because, I don't know.
Because of a hallucination or something.
She felt like it was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, what? You were just there. You were like 1 second away from getting what you needed to get on with your life, and you went, nah, not worth it. I lost a finger. Whatever I can't remember what happened to her. It's so silly.
Yeah,
She got Abby bit her finger off.
She tripped at the finish line. That's exactly.
Can you imagine meeting the person who kills your dad, and you're fighting in a life or death struggle, and they tear your finger off? Would you be more forgiving or less forgiving? Where would you go on the scale of anger? I wonder.
It depends on the finger, Smudge.
Oh yeah. Okay.
If it's my middle finger, I'm killing the bitch.
I'm getting that finger back.
But if it's the pinky, then I'm like, wait a second, that was actually a good thing you did for me. Even though you killed my dad, you took off my finger. I think I'm gonna forgive you.
Yeah, you lose your pinky. You're just like, son of a bitch. But fair enough.
Well, for me, it'd be even worse because as an Englishman, my pinky's very important to drinking tea. So I just can't. I'd have to scorch the entire earth. No, but the thing with Last of Us 2, whatever they were trying to do fails miserably because they portray this revenge bad and then allow revenge to be a useful thing for Abby. Abby becomes a better person, gets out of abusive relationships and everything like that, liberates people, saves a child's life and all that. It's like, yeah, that's from her revenge. She gets to become a better person. Ellie gets beaten, bruised, battered, assaulted, bitten, kicked, licked, nibbled, whipped, everything.
Yeah. And she becomes the villain because she kills off all of Abby's friends, and you're like, all right, I guess.
Yeah, she kills a pregnant woman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
a pregnant woman who's on the front lines. Yeah.
Great story. Fantastic. Yeah. Good.
Friend killed.
Can't wait for the third game.
Oh my God, there's going to be a third game? Oh, Jesus.
Well, no, it's going to be a while. It's going to be a while.
Another 20 years. Like, no one cares anymore.
Yeah. Naughty Dogs are waiting for everyone who played the second game to die, so they can't tell anyone what the third game's going to be like. We've got 60 years left to wait, guys.
Yeah. And Naughty Dog's like, these gamers, they have short-term memory, They ain't gonna remember.
It made her realize she spent the last few years of his life with him, not showing him any of the love that he showed her. The way Ellie sits in The Last of Us 2 is stiff.
The way Ellie sits? All right, that's a new one.
No. It's just because the animation's not great.
The way she sits, guys, there's so much drama in the chair when you look at her posture.
If you look at Dragon Age Velgard,
the way she sits, 3 out of 10.
It's so dramatic.
The way Rook crosses his arms.
The tragedy. The amount of force she's putting into her 13th vertebrae is so amazing. It's just, I could never think of it that another way again. Like, okay.
And no, put that in a negative review. Too much sitting.
Too much.
The chairs are too uncomfortable.
Too much stiffness.
Ellie has too many hard bones in her spine. Like, okay.
I can't believe it. Oh,
the sitting.
He did so well. He did so well.
No way.
I'm like,
I've never heard this before. The way someone sits. Okay.
Stressful, intense, but at the very
intense sitting.
Hang on.
Sitting intensifies.
He can say the way that Ellie sits shows stuff. Yet when I say about that guy who sits with his legs crossed like a woman is a bit gay, oh, that's wrong. I'm in the wrong. I'm pointing out wrong sitting.
Stiff, stressful, intense.
I like how also the relaxed sitting is when she's in the ocean.
Has a reviewer ever talked about Ellie's sitting in The Last of Us 2? I don't think I've ever heard that.
No, but
I've heard them talking about giraffes and emotions, but never the way that someone sits.
Yeah,
and bacon sandwiches.
Yeah.
Jesus.
No.
Now I got to watch some of these scenes where Ellie's sitting in a certain posture. Like, something I missed. I don't know.
Someone needs to make a compilation video. Someone needs to make a compilation video all the times Ellie sits in the game.
I gotta get a an FBI profiler who's like a part-time chiropractor to know, like, is there like some body language I'm missing that we should learn from here?
Hey, there we go. We always have those videos where this person reacts, chiropractor reacts.
Yeah.
Chiropractor reacts to
What's the
Ellie's
psychology of Ellie sitting?
I think what she's doing here is because she's tired. What? Is that about it? Yeah, she's sat down because Yeah.
All right, we got a donation from the anal prolapse of us. Oh my god. I gotta say, my brain isn't quite comprehending Hawk with a mic that was manufactured after 1467. But anyway, people who like The Last of Us 2 and HBO Last of Us are raising somebody else's son. They don't call him a cuckman named Druckmann for nothing. Well, I don't know
that's true.
What the show is all about, aside from like side stories and things that never really happened in the first game.
The show is about a lot of people got tricked to watching a gay romance, as the director actually said, and which is hilarious considering what a certain group of people reviewed the episode as. And then a lot of people getting angry that they followed the game and killed Joel when they thought that because in said gay episode, Bill died. They went, oh, they'll change stuff so Joel will live. And then they were proven wrong. And now they don't talk about the show anymore.
They said they wouldn't kill off Joel, really? Wow.
Yeah, because in episode 3, they meet Bill. Bill kills himself before they arrive. So it's changed something from the game, because in the game, Bill's alive.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So all these very intelligent critics went, see, they've changed stuff. So that means that when Joel meets Abby, Joel won't die. So they held out hope.
What?
Until literally, yes, honestly.
That's the logic, because a minor character.
I think it was because nobody expected Joel to die so early in the show. Like a lot of people were predicting that Joel was going to die like in the last couple of episodes of season 2.
Mm-hmm.
And that was going to like lead into like season 3, which was going to be about like Abby and Ellie's, whole thing. But, I think, what was it? Joel died in like episode 2, I think, or something like that in season 2.
He died. I think he died episode 1.
Oh, was it episode 1? I didn't watch the thing, so I have no idea.
Yeah, I think it's episode 1 because people were quite surprised.
Yeah, nobody was expecting to be so early. I mean, I think a lot of people knew it was going to happen, but they thought they were going to like drag it out for longer.
No, a lot of people same rational people did, but the people who started praising the first season as being half decent honestly started thinking, oh yeah, well Joel will live. They've killed Bill off, which has changed the storyline. So obviously that means they might let him live, because there's no way that the creators of the show will want the same backlash. It's like, no, they're going to do it. They're going to kill Joel. Of course they are. And then obviously they got proven.
What was that line by Jeff Goldblum from Jurassic Park? I'm not making the same mistakes again. He goes, no, you're making all new ones. Yeah.
Yeah, the Lost World. Yeah.
Yeah, Lost World. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That's Abby go. She stares at the ocean, relaxed and at peace. There is so much.
Actually, no, she's completely broken at that point, because she's realised she just let Abby go. Joel's never coming back. Also, she's lost Dina, whatever her name is, and her baby.
I think it's Dina, yeah.
So she's not relaxed at all in that scene. How can you not realise that in that scene if you like the game?
She pretty much gave up on her quest at the 9th hour or the 11th hour, and does she feel broken?
She's not
does she have a point in her life anymore? We don't know.
Well, she's lost her father figure. She's lost her partner. She's lost her kid. She's lost her finger. She's lost the ability to play guitar. She's lost everything that she's ever built. So she's not sat there feeling relaxed at all. So his reading of that entire scene is incorrect. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
You'd have thought he'd known exactly what it was the way she was sitting.
Yeah, when we talk about critiquing critics, and you yourself have this take on a very pivotal scene in the ending of a game, and you're like, "Oh, this is so peaceful." And you're like, "Is it really?" Did you think about that for a second?
The game, and also Druckmann made it incredibly clear how broken Ellie is at the end of that scene. There's no ifs or buts. It's quite clearly showing she's incredibly broken. So,
okay.
Anyway, Last of Us is amazing.
Story executes itself almost perfectly about this game on the internet, and I don't think it ever will be possible to talk about this game on the internet. I've seen enormous walls of text talking about just how deep the writing is, just to be downvoted to shit and shut down with, well, it's woke, and why does Abby have muscle?
Is correctly shot down. It's fantastic. He's literally made an entire argument and then destroyed it for The Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah, and didn't he say earlier, it's like, oh man, people are going to hate me for saying I don't like Baldur's Gate 3. It's like, yeah, you're going to wish they hated you for saying you didn't like Baldur's Gate 3 after this.
Huh.
Yeah.
Guys, alter ego Ed.
Hold on. Someone, Richard Phillips put in, watch a couple of playthroughs of this game, Last of Us 2, and it was an incredibly depressing experience, utterly nihilistic, written by a disturbed man with father issues. It's like, yep. There's no point playing the game if you want to have fun. It's an incredibly depressing game.
But she's resolved. Yeah. She's accomplished her task, even though she didn't, and she's at peace, even though she's not.
Yeah.
Even
though she achieved absolutely nothing.
She lost everything. Oh.
Wow.
I thought it would be important to delve into some Last of Us 2 discussions right now, just to immerse you in what it's like to talk about this game on the internet, and to get a general idea of the kind of people that really hate this game. Is there any symbolism with the Rat King? I think the Rat King symbolizes Joel. Why?
What?
Abby sees Joel as the monster from the hospital. The hospital segment with Abby is a nightmare version of the hospital in part 1. Abby never properly fought Joel, so the fight symbol.
Really? The Rat King is Joel.
Okay.
So we now just jump to headcanons.
Symbolism. Here we go.
Symbolizes Abby facing her fears. So I think that the Rat King is Joel from Abby's nightmares. This was my TED Talk. Alright, let's just scroll down here for a sec. Why does there have...
Why did you have to scroll so far down to find something? That clearly shows that the discussion's been okay.
I love how the two people that are making legitimate points are the ones getting downvoted.
Yeah, no, it's...
The one above and the one below. The one above and one below are getting downvoted for making actual points.
What the guys, it's a massive infected that was sitting in an abandoned quarantined sector for 25 years. Yes, that's it. There's no... Why has he destroyed everything for The Last of Us Part 2? Why? He was making really good points, and then he's come out literally being a critic who doesn't understand video games.
Yeah,
with The Last of Us Part 2.
Kind of sad about that title there.
You've become the thing you hated most.
Within one video. It's amazing. We know nothing about this guy. And just, by the way, let me screw myself over in the last 20% of this video. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I'm going to make some actual, legitimate points. I'm going to use evidence. And you're like, oh, okay, this is fine. It's not great. But, we understand it. It's not Maggie May Fish, thank God. And then he goes, anyway, now let me do my Maggie May Fish impression in the last 20 minutes. You're like, oh God, no.
One of my least favorite aspects. Focusing less on dialogue and literally what's happening in a plot to try and find symbolism. It's literally a bunch of infected piled in a cordyceps-filled hospital dying and melting into each other. And ain't that the truth? Me and Moonriver have been saying this shit for years. Narratives have no business having deeper meanings. I don't know when this started, but I have a hunch that it has something to do with Biden, Justin Trudeau and the gay person next door. There's a special hell just for Neil Druckmann and the person who...
Oh my god. Why is he doing this? Why?
All right, let's keep going.
Man who sits down and writes had to read. Anyway, let's go over some of The Last of Us 2's most common critiques. Why did Joel tell a group of strangers his name? Because Joel from The Last of Us Part 1 didn't trust anybody. He lost his daughter and had no shits to give except keeping himself alive. His relationship with Tess shows how emotionally distant he was. But as he goes through the chapters with Ellie, he grows to trust people and love like he was able to before the apocalypse began. People forget that in the first game, Joel was going to shoot Henry, but decided against it when Ellie told him not to. By Joel's standards, this was a poor judgment call because they left him for dead once, and they could have done it again. But The Last of Us doesn't follow a guy who doesn't change. It follows a broken man who restores himself piece by piece, until eventually, fast forward to part 2, he learns to trust people again, which unfortunately gets him killed. This is not bad writing. It's basic character development. Why does...
It's basic character development? Getting killed?
Oh no, it's because when you start to learn to love people, you drop all defense and become vulnerable and weak and useless. That's character development.
Yeah. Also, you're still in the zombie apocalypse where everybody's turning on each other for supplies. I still wouldn't trust anybody I just met.
I wouldn't not just give them a name, but also say, oh, by the way, we've got a settlement down there that's very badly defended. Come down, you can join us. You bunch of heavily armed people.
You, especially the one who looks like who has a grudge.
Yeah. One who seems to know my name and seems to...
the one who's been glaring at me for the past 20 minutes.
Yeah, okay.
Does Abby have big arms? She looks stupid. Video games are not real life.
Oh my god.
And even the most realistic games stretch fiction to accomplish a greater goal. Sadie Adler from Red Dead 2 is a traumatized gunslinging badass.
I don't care about other games. Tell me why Abby has big arms.
Oh, hold on. No, yeah. That's the issue with Sadie Adler. Like, these are big issues with this character. Sadie Adler goes from being a broken woman to being a gunslinger with, like, no build-up. Adler is not a good character, and I love Red Dead 2. Yeah, she just constantly gets nearly everyone killed. So,
the best thing we could say about Abby is genetics, but there's no... All the data showcasing her diet doesn't explain it. Her literal training regimen does not explain it.
Oh, don't even go into that, because fucking hell, supposedly yoga twice a week.
Oh yeah, having rest days
big man
for arms that big is apparent. It's called sleep. You could sleep. You're fine. You could do an hour a day. But no, she does like yoga.
It's not like one rest day. It's 3 rest days.
Yeah, it's just like
half a week.
If you're a bodybuilder, then it would make sense. And then you'd be like, oh, she's kind of small, actually. It's like, all right, fine. But
where'd you get the protein? Oh, tacos. You're like, what's in those tacos? Trust me, because I have tacos and I've not got massive arms. So what's...
The argument was she's stealing food from the outside barbecue places that you go and walk past. And I was like, no, she'd get kicked out if you did that. Like, what are you talking about?
Oh, yeah. Like she's stealing food from the outside barbecues. Yeah. Okay, I'm sure that'll be high in protein.
Well,
whatever they're cooking.
When you walk outside, because the stadium, the place the base is in, they show the barbecues where they're grilling all the meat and they're preparing all the food. And I don't know, you have to go down to the base where the dog is or whatever. And one of the arguments was, well, look at all the food here. It's like, yeah, they ration it. That's why you get rations every lunchtime or whatever it is. You can't go
I also
stealing
like
things.
the fact that they're using the football pitch to like graze cattle on, and I'm like, you do know what type of grass they have on these football pitches, don't you? It's not really made for animals to graze upon.
All right,
especially not with like sport stuff. So
Here's Nick Gurr for the $1 donation. Thank you, sir. My goy slop is good because there was lesbians crying, and it made my brain do a sad. Why is it that every time somebody defends The Last of Us 2, it's the gayest man you've ever met in your life? All of his responses in this video are pure uncut cope. I don't know. He's giving us a spin I've never even heard of before with this posture thing with Ellie. And because of that, he could read, we're seeing that scene from the back and she's sitting in the water and you're like, does sitting down with your legs crossed in the water mean you're at peace? I don't think so. It's highly interpretive. And unless you have some understanding of body mechanics and human psychology that the rest of us don't, you are really, really stretching things. And I would not take that seriously at all. So maybe it's the music. I don't know. I don't know where he got that. Anyway, we got another. Well, this is a super chat first off from X0. Thanks for the 5. Don't you love when the willing suspension of disbelief is not only made objective, but is done away with when it's in the way of an argument? I don't. Yeah. We don't need that.
I'm sorry, but it's one of those things where if your whole argument depends on outright lies and your own headcanon, I can't take that argument seriously. There's nothing, I can't fight against it because it's not real. It's like the information given in the game shows us she can't get like that. If you're then saying, well, in my headcanon, I think that this, and this, it's like, well, no, that's okay. In my headcanon, I think it's not. See, we're at an impasse now. You can't just make stuff up.
It's kind of like accusing someone of murder because, well, there's a possibility they could have gotten this and that and snuck in and did. It's like, yeah, there's always a possibility, but do you have any evidence?
Yeah. It's like, no, I just think it might be that guy. Why? Well, because I say it's that guy. It's like, well, surprisingly, that's not good enough. Yeah. So...
Like logic and evidence are very important in these things. Anyway, we're almost done. Let's see what he has to say about Red Dead again with regards to Abby's arms.
Realistically large groups of O'Driscolls no problem because she's fucking Sadie Adler. Nobody cares about how unrealistic this is because it progresses the story.
No, I do, because it really actually hinders the game. It's one of the worst parts of Red Dead 2, Sadie.
Part of the main cast. Mario is an average height skinny guy. Roadhog is a comically overweight champion from Overwatch. Something about all these characters is that they have different body types. Having dramatic differences in body proportion is what makes...
Yeah, you can't go from a game that claims to be realistic and say, look at this Mario game. Yeah.
God.
Well, it's like almost going like... going from, like, say, the Batman the Animated Series and saying, yeah, but it looks a bit weird, but look at SpongeBob SquarePants. It's like, they're two completely different. What are you on about?
Yeah, here's a short Italian. Here's a mentally broken man in literal hell. Here's a morbidly obese man with a hook. It's like, okay, what's the connection here?
I like how he hasn't actually talked about Abby at all. It's like, can you address how her arms are big in the story? It should be very obvious. Exercise and food. Come on, let's do it.
Abby can have monstrously large arms in this realistic game because Mario's a short, fat Italian dude in a side-scrolling game from the 80s.
Who stomps on turtles.
Yeah, sorry about that, but no.
Games are different. Wow, really? That's amazing.
Just because Crash Bandicoot exists in the world does not mean you can do whatever you want in your realistic game.
Oh, God.
Interesting, because it's separate from reality.
What?
Sure, she wouldn't be as jacked as she is in the game if she was a real person, but she's not.
She's not a real person?
She was a real person.
She wouldn't be this jacked.
Okay, Joel wouldn't be as stupid if he was a real person.
Oh no.
Abby, Ellie wouldn't let her live if she was a real person. Do you see how this argument now does not work?
I can't believe this guy. She's not real, therefore her arms could be as big as they want.
Okay, then why does Joel have to die? Well, because, of his, the consequences, like in the real world.
Yeah.
But he doesn't exist. So he didn't have to die.
Because of character development, Hawk.
This is the issue when you have to make your own headcanon. It only makes sense inside your own head. Once other people hear it, the whole thing collapses and you have to resort to, well, it's all fake. It doesn't exist anyway.
Billy was doing this. Why can't I do that? It's like, what? What are you talking about?
Billy was doing this. Yes, Billy's a 45-year-old man with a job. And he can buy a car. You are 12 years old.
Is a trained soldier in the Last of Us universe, and she's jacked. So what? If video games could only stylize the appearance of dudes, then that would be a huge limitation to creative writing.
What? How is it a limitation to creative writing? What are you talking about now?
You literally talked about...
She's a trained soldier and she's
Sir.
so therefore
Sir.
what? That's not an
Sir,
argument.
you were destroying your entire argument for Abby. A person doesn't exist. Why?
If the whole argument is a writer can do anything, then why wouldn't the writer who is consistently writing a realistic story with a realistic setting and believable as possible scenarios, why would she have gigantic arms? How does she get them? How does she fuel them? How does she maintain them?
Another issue with this is the people who defend The Last of Us Part 2 claim, well, in the real world, stuff like this will happen, while at the same time telling you that Abby can look this way because it's not the real world. It's literally, they want both ways. They want Last of Us Part 2 to be classed as this real world, oh, it's so realistic, all this blah, blah, blah. And then at the exact same time, well, it's a video game for any other criticism.
It's not realistic. It's a video game. It's not realistic.
But Joel dying is realistic because people can get revenge, and in the real world, you can't just get away. You're like, right, so is it one thing or the other? Choose. Which one is it? Can't just say both.
All right. We got a donation again from Sadie Inward. All right. A real missed opportunity was Neil not including a section where Dina uses her Jewish sorcery to directly tank Abby's credit score. Him being cool with Abby's muscles and getting defense leads towards my theory that this man is gay. I gotta be honest. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. He's just making stuff up, like making these silly arguments. And I don't care that he's trying to defend Abby's muscles, but just be sensible. Stay on topic. Don't reference other games that have nothing to do with this argument.
Oh, we're way past that, Smud. We are way past that. Being sensible.
This reminds me of Iraqi artifacts and the hobbycraft situation of Maggie May with how much just like jumped off the deep end.
Yeah, that was fun. God, geez, I still remember that video.
Oh yeah, it's engraved in my mind forever. But this video, I found this video to cover it, and I watched the first little bit, and I was like, oh, this seems like a sane, reasonable thing. And then it's got to The Last of Us Part 2. I'm like, oh, okay. And it's now just gone for deep end, and I don't understand why he's doing this.
I know. It's confusing.
Why he really jumped into this, like, feet first, to like defend The Last of Us Part 2. Yeah.
Is he saying that the critics who nitpick The Last of Us Part 2 don't understand video? Is that what he's trying to get at? Because I'm quite sure.
I've not seen anyone's critiques. So far, he's only shown one person who've gone, yeah, it's not symbolism, which, okay, that's a rational argument. And two, someone just making an over-exaggeration and a joke. I'm like, these aren't criticisms. Where are the critics? What are the critics saying? You've picked two random comments. And you're going crazy. Why?
All right. We got 2 minutes left. We're almost done.
critiques that millions of people are throwing at the game to drive home the point that even though millions of people might say something, doesn't mean it's true at all.
Oh my god.
If millions of people say something, it's not true. Oh.
What is happening, sir? Have you lost accountability and reason with the past two? Like, what is?
What is the number of people needed?
Yeah.
To say something is bad for this guy to go, you know what? This thing might be bad. Do we have a number of people?
We've talked about this years ago, and we mentioned the trailer when they first introduced Abby and how they changed her physique to match the ending, which was not written yet, or was not written or created yet, so that it was believable that if someone was being crucified for over a month, they would lose body mass. Or was it two? I can't remember. Was it 2 months or 1 month she was hung up? I can't recall.
It's like a couple of weeks, actually.
Yeah, it was still a lot. Like, even then, your body would deteriorate, but not that quickly. Because at the end, she looks almost normal. So you're like, all right, she's emaciated and obviously malnourished and what have you. And it was like, all right, we got to have that time skip happen. That's what happens to the body. Good. But that's the whole point. That's the whole point. They have to buff her up. And they didn't bother explaining that. She was never designed to be crucified on the pole there and lose body mass.
I find it funny that everyone keeps talking about it, and then in the show they couldn't find an actress to match her body.
The funniest thing, I saw a few photos of the girl who plays Abby. She looks like a really good version of Ellie.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
That's literally what everybody said. They wanted her to play Ellie.
Yep.
That's funny.
But no, it's great that they he's throwing all this stuff around, and even the show themselves are like, we can't get anyone who looks like Abby. It's almost impossible.
Well, the argument was they modeled it after an actual buff weightlifter chick, and you're like, oh, really? Just then get her. Just hire her.
Yeah.
Who cares? She looks the part. Go for it. Nope. And if you see, I didn't see the show, but if you see the shots, there's like 4 or 5 of them I saw. She's clearly wearing a bodysuit, like obviously. Like there's no way those muscles are that tight around certain parts of her body. And it looks so funny. Like, yeah, this is a bodysuit. Come on. Don't even bother. Just get I swear, all adaptations, just get them to look right. Acting is secondary.
Yeah.
And for Abby, that wouldn't be hard. It wouldn't be that difficult to get Abby to act like Abby.
It's amazing that I think about all the famous actors who started out who are really bad actors, but have got better as they've got older. I'm thinking, well, they just look the part.
Well,
I mean, let's put it this way. Sylvester Stallone was not hired for most of the stuff because they thought he was a good actor.
Well, he actually did a lot of the writing, which was interesting. But with Schwarzenegger, he actually took speech classes, and he can talk normally. But they said, we don't like that. We want you to speak in the way that you normally did in Terminator. Like, okay. So he went back.
Yeah, I get that. But it's like these people were picked because of a certain look, not because they could act.
Yeah.
There's a lot of actors who are picked because they look the part, but they then get their foot in the door and they become better, or hopefully become better.
Yeah.
So when you watch them the first time, you think, "Oh, that's a bit rough," and then later on, you go, "Actually, you know what? He's not half bad. Not going to win any awards, but I can actually sit through a film."
All right.
So yeah.
Well, let's keep going.
Game out there that holds a very special place in my heart on why I believe it's overhated and underrated. And if I had listened to what everybody said about it, I never would have played this game that
Are you joking right now? You can't have an opinion of your own? If I just listened to all the haters, I would have thought the same. Are you that stupid? You clearly have a differing opinion right now. I like it. Let me justify it with stupid arguments. Okay. Therefore, you are stupid. There we go. Okay.
Yep.
One of life's great mysteries solved.
Why am I dumb? I thought for myself, like, oh god.
Why am I dumb? Well, why do you think you're dumb? Proceed to say dumbest thing ever. Wow. Okay. That's proven that.
A door. Everybody, the formula goes like this. You talk to a guy, loading screen. Loading screen. You go into a sketchy area to grab something for them, loading screen. You return, loading screen, and you level up. And I wouldn't want it any other way. As somebody that loves Skyrim, Oblivion, and Fallout 4, Starfield feels like a game that was made for me. The bad reviews will tell you that the characters feel juvenile, but the followers...
Okay, you know, there's a game I'll never play. I could tell Starfield was going to be a mess. I still think it's a mess.
It is.
They haven't fixed the thing. Exactly.
I love when, I love Starfield and Skyrim. It's like, right, so very generic. Oh, and Oblivion. I'm like, mm-hmm. And Fallout 4. I'm like, wow, this list was getting worse and worse as you went along, weren't it? Yeah, well done. If you put Fallout 4 near anything of like, oh, good, I'm like, okay. I'm getting an idea of what sort of critic he is.
Or at least what kind of gamer he is, yeah.
Yeah.
After the analysis of Ellie's sitting position for drama, I'm like, wow, this dude is on another level.
It's like, I can't, like, he started off so well, like, the videos, you're like, oh, yeah, I understand, like, where he's coming from and everything, and his points about Red Dead with streamers, I'm like, yeah, 100%, I get that. It's not a game made for them, so I can understand why they were saying it was rubbish, and I can understand his arguments defending it. But then you get to Last of Us, and then now Starfield, you're like, oh no, please, okay,
yep.
Fine. Give this. By the way, this section's called "Give Things a Chance." So, what if I give it a chance and it's crap? Can I say it's crap? What?
Feel more of their backstory and evolve the longer you spend time with them makes me believe otherwise. It's nowhere near as deep as Baldur's Gate 3, Red Dead Redemption 2, The Last of Us, or God of War, but for what it is, an open world adventure game where you make your own path, I think it works really well. I can understand the repetitive go here and do that formula getting tiring for some people, but in my experience, I found that the quests were much more open-ended than Skyrim's, and especially if you're playing as a character that...
In a game that came out nearly 15 years ago. Why does he jump straight back to Skyrim? More open-ended than Skyrim. Okay.
Yeah, and it's made by the same people that made Skyrim.
I like how we were going to cover a video that was saying how bad Skyrim is in comparison to The Witcher 3. Just how much Witcher 3 like set the bar. And looking back at Skyrim's, like, everything is just like, yeah, this is not even, you wouldn't even go back to Skyrim. There's other better games to play.
Yeah. I'm like, in 2011, it was fantastic. Yeah, I know. That's because it's 2011.
Yeah.
Things should have improved.
Exactly.
If you're going like, well, this game from 2024 is half decent, you're like, okay, that's great. Of course it's better than Skyrim. A lot of things are better than Skyrim. It's been... There's people who were like 10 years old. Yeah. Nearly half of people's lives have disappeared. Sorry, Smart.
Yeah.
I keep pausing. I keep saying something. When you play again, I'm like, oh, well, I guess he's not interested in what I'm saying there. Just mute me, why don't you? Good Lord.
Smud's just trying to get through this video as quick as he can. He's like, come on, I don't want to hear this guy anymore.
Well, he's not that bad. He's just really far off with his opinions.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like you said, last 20% of the video, he's just sort of gone, I'm just going to take the mask off now and go insane.
This is what I really think. Like, uh-oh.
Yeah, he's like, if you stuck around like, this long.
It's one of those things like, say, like a asylum, and you're talking to one of the patients, and like you're there with the guard, and the guard leaves, and the patient goes, finally, and starts like slinging his own shit everywhere, and you're like, ah. Now I get it.
Yeah.
Enjoyable. I've replayed Starfield probably community that loves Starfield as much as I do. And while I understand how other people feel about the game, I have a better understanding on whether you want to purchase the game forever or not. Long live Steam, everybody. But I'm interested. Are there any games out there that you feel have a bad reputation?
Nah. Okay. This guy is not an intellectual in any capacity. He's not a critical thinker. He gets his opinions from Reddit.
Yep.
And I don't know what else. He's good at video editing. I'll give him that. He went crazy in the first 5 minutes, just splicing that stuff together. Oh, everything else was normal, and then we got to the ending. We're like, oh.
What a fantastic video.
Well, we have some stream memes. Let's cover those. Hopefully that's fun.
Yeah.
Hopefully. What do we got here? Well, yes, I do support a genocide of YouTube essayists. How could you tell?
Hang on. Oh, no. I've not been on streaming for so long. I'm about 6 months behind. Hang on.
Okay. Why is there an egg or Humpty Dumpty guy?
Oh, because a lot of people made jokes about Bella Ramsey's head, is egg-shaped.
No, because it's her face in it.
Right, it's her face, but I think the criticism is her head or is egg-shaped or whatever in real life.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh dear, that's terrible.
Coming to CBS this fall, 2.5 Them. Oh my god. Oh my god, what's wrong with their faces?
Oh, please just. Oh no.
That's hilarious. Joel in Last of Us. I will kill anyone who talks to me and I trust nobody. Joel in Last of Us 2. Hello, my name is Joel Miller and this is my brother Tommy Miller and my security code is 1, 2, 3. So this is Ellie and that's the actress who plays her. Joel is not too far. I mean, that's not completely off. Yeah, it's a little different. Okay, that's a bit. That's obviously a joke.
Yeah, Abby's got a bigger beard.
Yeah. And we got here. This is what's his face? Fat Geralt.
Fat Geralt, yeah.
Fat Geralt. Oh yeah. Oh.
God, I love that with the garage. Just the smack in the face. The head hits the garage like kabloom. You're like, oh. It was so funny. It comes out of nowhere, just kaboom. You're like, what is this?
Oh.
First thing tomorrow, I'm going to punch Lev in the back of the head. Kaboom.
Oh.
Oh,
God, I love the fact that Last of Us gave us these memes. Not because it's a good game, but because it's so shit.
Too late, Batman. Once this Tylenol floods the city's water supply, my wiki won't run out of editors ever again. The game devs I will spend hours tirelessly fine-tuning this game and experimenting with different mechanics to make this game as fun as possible for our players. Game devs now. I finished animating the gay sex scene. Can I go home to my family now? Oh god!
It's even worse with The Last of Us Part 2. The sex scene, they had to have the guy who was almost was it the insert of Neil Druckmann's character who got to sleep with Abby, or was it another one?
Oh dear!
No, that was the character Manny.
Yeah,
he's the guy that got shot in the face by Tommy.
Yeah. No, I just could imagine if it ever had been that character, you're there having to do a character who looks like your boss having sex with somebody. You're like, oh my god, I want to go home.
Bella Ramsey got diagnosed with autism after Last of Us crew member noticed the signs. It's liberating and freeing to know. Imagine your coworker coming up to you like, hey, I think you may be autistic.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Oh my god, come on, that's not...
Jesus.
Okay. That's, yeah.
Oh man, yeah. She can't help how she looks.
Yeah. There's currently an active shooter at Hogwarts. Harry Potter has reportedly been shot.
Oh God, that reminds me of Frankie Boyle. What was that British show?
Mock
the
the
one with
Week.
all the other comedians. Yeah, Mock of the Week. Where he was talking about like unlikely lines from a book, and Frankie Boyle goes, finishing in the lunchroom. Harry and Ron turn their wands on each other. You know, he's making a joke about like a school shooting.
Yeah.
Okay, they put her face everywhere. I get it. Oh my goodness.
She's all the actors.
Good Lord.
Say what you want, but this would never happen under Harvey Wise. Oh,
Yeah, that's true.
Fans wanted Bella as Buzz Lightyear in upcoming live action. Jesus.
Good Lord.
Oh, Ellie, I think they should be terrified of. Oh my God. That's like the anime mangas that I'm trying to remember. Prison School, I think. That huge guy with the really super small face. Oh, now what? Bella Ramsey confirmed to play Ozzy in new biopic. I Am Iron Them. Oh my God. Thankfully, that's enough of Bella Ramsey. Okay.
The thing is, like, she got famous from, what was it, Game of Thrones, wasn't it?
Yep.
She was in as that really annoying little girl queen thing or whatever, lord or something.
Yep.
It's like, okay, she was in there for the really bad seasons. It's like, yeah, but she's an amazing actress. I'm like, no, but go on then.
Yeah, she screams in that show all the time. She just screams at men like twice her size. Like, okay, I should not piss this girl off because she has authority. You're like, all right, fair, fine. That's her character. That's all she does, though. Just screams at everyone.
Yeah, but I don't think she's a good actress. But, there you go.
I haven't seen her in anything else. I can't say.
Yeah, I've not seen her in anything.
Yeah, I don't want to. So there's that. Anyway, that was wow. What a 180 at the end there. Thankfully he's not reviewing games. I don't know, does he have other, I don't even know if he has any videos on his channel that reviews other games. If it's the same way he took apart some very idiosyncratic elements of The Last of Us 2 and calling it a good game.
Has he got the review of The Last of Us?
Oh,
obviously. That would be funny.
Obviously he does, because he loves it so much. He must have made a video about it. But we're not going to watch that, because that sounds painful. Either way.
Why not? That'd be fantastic. I'm going to look it up now.
Ridiculous.
That's going into the Smudcast suggestion poll.
Okay, fine. Put it in the suggestion box. We'll see if people vote on it. This guy could be a gold mine for like 180 himself every halfway through the video. That'd be funny. He keeps doing that.
See if I can find it, and then we'll pencil in Whisp, because we need someone shouting about communism on top of all this as well.
Can't wait. Let's extend our videos by 2 hours.
I think Whisp actually wanted to join.
What? No, he didn't.
Yeah.
Well, he said something about like you guys are starting.
Hey, I asked well before, and you guys were actually kind of late in that, but that's fine.
In the Smudcast discussion, around 5 o'clock. He said, "Yeah, you going without?"
Oh, I was focused on the video, guys. I have no idea. Up to it. Anyway. Thank you, guys.
I'll be honest with him, his videos look really bad. They look really. A lot of Rockstar game theory stuff.
Ooh.
Yeah, I kind of noticed that too. I was like, sifting through them.
All right. Well, that's enough for me for tonight. I hope you guys have a great Sunday, or what's left of it, or Monday morning. Go to bed, whatever you're up to. Thank you for the suggestion, Hawk. I think that one worked out pretty well. So
yeah, it's not often that A, I make a good suggestion, and B, people go through with it.
Well, first 80% was fine, and then it just we had to stop and slow down there. So that was surprising.
Honestly, I thought we were going this might actually be a half decent person, given a half decent opinion, it'll be an actually good discussion. And then Last of Us 2 came up, and I'm like, oh dear, oh no. Pours whiskey into flask. Oh no, oh dear.
I stopped drinking.
Adds vodka.
What happened?
What's this absinthe? 80% there. That'll do. I'll just.
Oh, good lord. Anyway, that was good. So thanks, guys, for listening, and maybe we'll cover them again if we have another horror story, or maybe it'll be like a off and on. Maybe we'll have like good opinions scattered with a bunch of weird ones. That might be fun. Who knows? Either way, thank you for listening. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great evening. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm looking at his games right now, his videos right now. He's got a Star Wars